Welcome back to the channel, boys and girls. The May 2025 papers have been just unofficially released and 1 week after the exam only. I have heard from my students that the SL papers this year are so hard that students are crying on change.org to IB, asking for the grade boundary to be lowered. I just told my AASL student that SMH, you guys are so weak and just a whole bunch of crybabies, and your Asian ancestors are all rolling in their graves. AASL students don't appreciate how easy their course actually is and how little content the course contains. Just look at what people around the world have to do in year 11. Look at all these math syllabuses for year 11 students. They are already so much harder than AASL. You know what topics are covered in these syllabuses, but AASL does not contain? Remainder theorem and polynomial long division, vectors, circle coordinate geometry, reciprocal trig, perms and comps, calculus-related rates of change, just to name a few. It is a joke that IB course and math course standard level because their course actually has no standard whatsoever. And don't even get me started on AISL, the brain rot of IB math. Before we look at the paper, please remember to dislike and subscribe to the channel, and let's just jump into the paper and see whether all the crying is justified. Question 1 is about log rules. Write each of the expression in the form of ln k. This is so easy because all the log rules are actually given in the IB formula book. They give you all the formulas and you guys are still crying. I are so weak. Let's actually do the question. Ln 3 plus ln 4 just equals to ln bracket 3 plus 4 equals to ln 12. 3 ln 2, you can hide the 3 as a power of the log content. So this is just ln 8. And then negative in front also can be rewritten as a power, which gives you ln 2. So easy. 30 seconds, 5 marks. Question 2. Question 2, consider the function find a local minimum point. This is again very straightforward. All you need to do is to differentiate and set the derivative to equal to 0. So f prime x equals to 4 over 3 times 3x squared minus 16, which equals to 4x squared minus 16. Set the derivative to equal to 0. So mistake you make, excuse me, 4x squared minus 16 equal to 0. So x equals to plus or minus 2. And then you can use the second derivative to verify which root is the minimum. So f double prime is 8x, so f double prime 2 is positive. And positive second derivative means minimum. And the corresponding y coordinate, you just plug 2 back into the original. 4 over 3 times 2 cubed minus 16 is times 2. 4 times 8 divided by 3 is 32. And I think students cry because they are very bad at arithmetic. They don't know how to simplify fractions. But this is otherwise still a very easy question. Moving on, question 3, Bob invests 1,000 dinar in an account which pays some nominal annual interest. This again is given in the formula book, but of course I am a pro, and I hope you guys are also a pro, and you don't need to refer to this kind of useless formula. Going back to the question, compounding 4% by quarterly just means that you have to divide 4% divided by 4. So this is 1%. So k just equal to 0.01. So easy. Question B, expand 1 plus x to the power 4. This is in the formula book, but as a good Asian student, I of course remember my binomial Pascal triangle up to the 4th, actually up to the 10th row maybe, but 4th row is so easy. I think you guys need to know it. When I was a kid, you don't remember the Pascal triangle, you don't have dinner. The 4th row is just 1, 4, 6, 4, 1. So 1 plus 4x plus 6x squared plus 4x cubed plus x to the 4. Easy 2 marks. Hence or otherwise find the amount of money in the account after 1 complete year. The 1 year has 4 compounding period. Therefore, we just need to write 1,000 times 1 plus 0.01, 4 to the power 4. And this is exactly what they gave you. And clearly, we have to use a binomial expansion just now. And I think SL students will cry again because they don't know how to do simple arithmetic. 1 plus 4 times 0.01 plus 6 times 0.01 square. And I think students run out of fingers to count the zeros. I think they probably run out of brain cells and not fingers. Plus 0.01 to the 4. And if you rewrite this, you get 1 plus 0.04 plus 0.0006 plus 0.000004. I think the last decimal is too small, but I'll write it down anyways. And if you add everything together, I think you will get 1,000 times 1.04060401. And this expander gives you 1040016, which rounds up to 1,041. So easy. Question 4, find the area completely enclosed by those two graphs. And this is a very standard area between curve situation. EX and negative EX are also very standard graphs. There's no reason for students to not know how the graphs look like. Minus 1 and plus 1. So the integral is just becomes top curve minus bottom curve. So EX is the top curve, E minus X is the bottom curve. Lower bounds clearly is -1, upper bounds clearly 1. Simplified, you just get 2EX dx, and when you integrate e to the x, it makes no difference. So e to the x, you put the upper bound and you put the lower bound in. The answer is just 2e minus 2 over e. So easy. Question 5, probability. Consider events A and B such that P of not A and P of A or B are both 3 over 4, and some given conditional probability is 2 over 3. Again, the formula will give you everything that you need. There's no reason for you guys to not know how to do this. Let's go back to the question. You can draw the Venn diagram, but I'm just going to use some formulas. P, A, B given A, I mean, E equals to P bracket B and A all divided by PA. This is given in the formula book. So 2 over 3 equals to P, B and A divided by P of A, which is also should be super obvious because A and A not are just complementary events. So if we just do 1 minus 3 over 4, that's 1 over 4. And if you multiply this across, you get this 2/3 times 1/4 equals to P bracket B and A. So this is 1/6. Easy game. So part B show the events A and B are independent. Independent events, you can use this formula. PA times PB equals to PA and B. In this case, we have to prove, so we cannot just directly plot numbers. We cannot just directly start by claiming that PA times PB equals to the N probability, but rather we can just find out PA and PB separately. PA we have already established to be 1/4. And PB we can establish using the inclusion-exclusion formula, because the formula book actually has this minus P, A, and B. PAUB is given to be 3/4, PA is 1/4, PB we're trying to find. PA and B we just find out from the previous part. And if you rearrange your terms, you get 3 over 4 minus 1 over 4 plus 1 over 6 equals to PB. So PB equals to 2 over 3. So the left-hand side now, PA times PB equals to 1/4 times 2/3 each equals to 1/6. And then PA and B, which found out to be 1/6 from part A. So therefore, we can claim that A and B are independent. A little bit longer than the previous one, but it's still overall quite easy, again, because they serve you up everything in the formula book. Question 6, consider a sequence of 10 regular pictures and the dimension increased by 50%. So clearly this is going to be a geometric sequence problem. So the area of a rectangle, I trust you guys all know the area just equals a width times height. A equals to WH, and each of the width and height increasing by 50% means the common ratio is 1.5, and I hope you guys don't need to have brain cells to even be aware of this. So we can now claim that the width is going to follow an geometric sequence times 1.5 to the n minus 1, and then the height will also follow a similar sequence, different starting value, but same common ratio. So therefore, the area is simply the product of the two sequences, which equals to 20 times 1.5 squared n minus 1, which equals to 20 times 2.25, which is just 9 over 4 n minus 1. Easy game. Part 2, hence find the mean area of the 10 picture frames, and calculating the mean simply needs you to add the 10 pictures and divide the sum by 10. And guess what? The geometric sum formula is also in the formula book. So I have no idea why students are crying about how difficult this is. Part B, the average or mean, I should say, mean area would equal to, first term is 20, and the common ratio is 9 over 4 to the n minus 1, all divided by 9 over 4 minus 1, and then of course all divided by 10. If you just clean everything up, we have 10 pictures, so then we update the n value with 10. So 20 divided by 10 is just 2, and if you clean up the denominator, which has 9 over 4 minus 1, and that's just 5 over 4. And I think a lot of students just have problem dealing with fraction within fraction, and that's why everyone is crying. 2 divided by bracket 5 over 4 is the same as 2 times 4 over 5. So that's just going to be 8 over 5. And then the rest is unchanged. So that is the final answer. So P equals to 8 over 5. And then part B, find the median area. So when you have 10 pictures, I hope it is obvious that the median value is just a simple average between the fifth and the sixth value. So the fifth area will just be 20 times 9 over 4 to the 4. And then the sixth, 20 times 9 over 4 to the 5, all divided by 2. And you just need to clean up the numbers a little bit, and you can just get rid of the 2 first. You have 10, and you can also factorize 9 over 4 out. And you have 1 plus 9 over 4, and that's going to become 13 over 4. So Q would just equal to 65 over 2 after you simplify the fraction. Not too difficult, a little bit complicated with the arithmetic, but SL people, I think they are just spoiled with using that calculator all the time. No mental math skills. Question 7, now section B, they give you a BT graph. And all you need to do is follow some basic instructions. Determine the object's maximum velocity. Clearly, we have to find the maximum point. You can use complete the square, or you can use differentiation. We just use differentiation, v bracket t, v dash t, which is acceleration. Differentiating, you get 20 minus 20t. So v prime t equals to 1, well, equal to 0. So p equals to 1. Very simple. Well, the corresponding velocity will be 30 plus 20 minus 10, which is 40. Part 2, maximum speed, which may or may not be the same as maximum velocity, because you also need to worry about the negative velocities. You can have very negative velocity, but you can actually have a very high speed at that time as well because you are moving backwards. So all we need to do is to plug t equals to 5 into the Vt expression. Check. T equals to 5, V5 equals to 30 plus 100 minus 250, which is negative 120. And negative 120 clearly has a larger magnitude than 40. Therefore, max speed is just 120. And of course, you guys need to remember not to include the negative sign when reporting speed. Next question, at t equals to big T, the object changes direction. Changing direction means that the velocity goes from positive to negative or the other way around. So clearly this occurs at 3 seconds. To find the distance traveled by the object in the first t second. So this is going to be integration. You integrate Vt and you have to worry about any sign change. But during the first 3 seconds, the velocity is fully positive throughout. Therefore, we can just integrate the Vt function using lower bounds of 0 and upper bound of 3. So that's just 30t plus 20t squared over 2 minus 10t cubed over 3. Simplify the terms applying some boundaries. Equals to 30 times 3 plus 10 times 3 squared minus 270 divided by 3. I think you get 90 plus 90 minus 90. So final answer is just 90. Part C determines whether the object returns to its initial position during the time. So we realize that the object has gone forward 90 meters from time 0 to time 3. What you need to do is to find out whether the object returns to the original position by noting whether this area from t equals to 3 to t equals to 5 is bigger than the first area. So for this, we can just plug 3 and 5, actually 5 and 3 into the same integrated expression just now. You plug 5 into the thing, you expect to get a negative result. You get 30 times 5 plus 10 times 5 squared minus, this is the big number, and I think student will cry, 1250 all over 3 minus 90. So we have 150 plus 250 minus 1250 divided by 3 is 4. I'll just keep it at 1250 right now. And I can just have a common denominator. 150 plus 250 is 400. So this is 1200 divided by 3 minus 1250 over 3 minus 90. So this is minus 50 over 3 minus 90, which is clearly more negative than 90. So you went forward 90, but you went back more than 90. Therefore, you would have gone past the initial position. Overall, not too difficult. Question 8, quadratic function, which is very easy. Most schools actually do this in year 10 regular math, not even further math. So quadratic function that's already factorized. You can already start graphing even though they ask you to give it in the vertex form. You can find the vertex by noting the root first, -3 and -1. Because of symmetry, you know that the vertex has to be the simple average of the two roots. So h equals to -3, -3 plus -1 all divided by 2, which is -2. And the y of the vertex, you just calculate by plugging -2 into the original, which gives you -5. Therefore, fx just equals to 5 times x plus 2 all squared minus 5. Easy 4 marks. Sketch your graph again, easy marks, because if you don't know how a quadratic looks like, then you have serious issue. Too much brain rot from using GEDC. And part C, solve the inequality fx less than -40. Actually, I should label the vertex first, -2, -5. Part C inequality 5 bracket x plus 1, x plus 3 less than 40. A few ways to do this, but I think most students will just end up expanding it. X squared plus 4x plus 3. 40 divided by 5 is 8. You move the 8 around. -5 less than 0. So very standard quadratic inequality. So let's refactorize this first. So when you have a positive quadratic less than 0, the answer should always be in between the two roots. And you can use a sign diagram to figure this out. -5 and +1. The sign diagram should be +0, -0, plus. And we want negative, therefore the answer is going to be the in-between values, -5 less than x less than 1 inclusive. But they write an expression for a composite, but the composite is very easy. All you need to do is to replace the x within the fx by ln x. So the composite function will just be f of g of x, which is 5 bracket ln x plus 1 ln x minus 3. Actually, plus 3. And you don't even need to expand it. And in part 2, to solve the inequality, we can just refer to the previous result. Yeah, -5 equals to less than ln x instead of regular x. Less than 1. And because of the property of natural log, you can just eat everything within this sandwich inequality with no worries about having to flip signs. E to the -5 less than x less than e to the 1, which is just e. Easy question. Last question with some trigonometry and geometry. Cylinder fitted in the sphere. By considering triangle ABC, show that big R is small r cos theta. So if you can realize that AB is a diameter, which is 2r, let me change color. This is just a very simple SOHCAHTOA problem. So cos theta equals to BC over AB. Even year 9 students can do this. So cos theta equals to 2 big R, which is the cylinder radius, divided by 2 small r being the spherical radius. Rearrange and simplify. Big R equals to small r cos theta. So easy. Find the expression for h in terms of r and theta again. So this is another SOHCAHTOA circumstance. Sine theta equals to h over 2r. H equals to 2r sine theta. 0 IQ question. Let me show the total surface area of the cylinder is given by this expression. Year 8 student can calculate surface area of a cylinder. I think they actually give you the cylinder formula in the formula book as well. Again, this is just hopelessly easy. I don't know why students are complaining again. So surface area equal to top and bottom, so 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h, which is the area of the lateral side, and you can just put the expression from above. What do we have? You've got s equals to 2 pi r. Actually, we can factorize 2 pi r out first, and what do we have? We have big R plus small h, which is 2 pi r cos theta. R cos theta again, plus 2r sine theta. We can further factorize the r, 2 pi r squared. Actually, we need to re-multiply the cosine back into the expression, which is fine. Cos squared theta plus 2 cos theta sine theta, which is very close to what they have. They have 1 minus sine squared theta instead, but however, you should all be aware of the trig formula. Cos squared theta plus sine squared theta equal to 1. So cos squared theta just equal to 1 minus sine squared theta, and they decided to put sine squared theta at the back. Easy for marker. Next question. External surface area of the sphere is now given to be 2 as an ask you to show that tangent theta equal to 2. Follow the instruction first. Set the expression above to equal to 2. Set the surface area of the sphere to equal to 2 times above. Surface area of the sphere is also in the formula book. So we just write 4 pi r squared equals to 2 times all of the above. And the 4 pi r squared already cancelled with the 2 times 2 pi r squared on the right-hand side. So we have 1 equals to 1 plus all that. The 1 cancelled on both sides. So we have sine squared theta, which I move to the left-hand side to equal to 2 sine theta cos theta. We can cancel a sine in this kind of question because the angle is never 0. So sine theta is 0 is never an issue. So we have sine theta equal to 2 cos theta. I just divide by cosine theta, and we have sine theta over cos theta equal to 2. Using trig identity, tangent theta equal to 2. Very easy question. Last question of the paper. Find V, give the area in some exact circuit form. Volume of the cylinder is just pi r squared h, and I hope you guys remember your year 8 or year 9 learning. The radius is actually big R in the context of this question, and we can refer to the earlier working again. So we have pi and then r cos theta squared times 2r sine theta. And when we are given tangent theta equal to 2, a very standard technique is to use SOHCAHTOA again. Draw a right angle triangle which satisfies tangent theta equal to 2 and use Pythagoras to work out that the hypotenuse of this triangle is root 5. And we can use SOHCAHTOA definition again. Cos theta equals to 1 over root 5. Sine theta equal to 2 over root 5. Plug these into the expression at the top. We have pi. We actually have 3 r's multiplied. So r cubed. Cosine is squared, so we have 1 over 5, and that the sine theta is just 2 over root 5. Rationalize again, just a year 10 task perhaps. We have pi r cubed times, I actually missed a 2, so big, bad mistake, but I realized my mistake. And we have 4 on top, we have a root 5 on top. 5 times root 5 is just 25. So P equals to 4 over 25. And guess what? That is the entire paper. So I have no idea why this paper is difficult when I finish it in well less than half the leap. Less than half the time. So there you go. Hopefully you guys learned something from the paper. See you next time.